Welcome back to the 6th episode of the Family Gossips podcast. I'm your host, Connor Wolford, as you know by now, and today I will have on the first of my in-laws' family, the mother-in-law, well, you could say my second mum. We'll be talking about her life, her boyfriends, her marriages, and just finding a little bit more about her. But we'll see more when we get into the podcast. And before we start, if you would like to include any listeners' messages, ask us anything, send them to our email at the Family Gossips Podcast. No, it's not that. It's thefamilygospod@gmail.com or our Instagram, the Family Gossips _podcast. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The 6th episode, no, 7th episode, no 6th episode, no 7th episode, one of them episodes anyway, of the Family Gossips podcast. And today I will have joining me the future mother-in-law. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello.
She's nervous like Mum was, but I think that's a woman thing.
Definitely.
I've only had one man on at the minute, but Dad's not nervous. Dad jabbered on.
Okay.
Have you listened to Dad's podcast?
Not at the moment. That's my next one.
Cheryl's a number one listener. She's a number one. Sits down, puts YouTube on or Spotify or something while she does the housework with a cup of tea. It was Cheryl's birthday the other day and we got her a new Tassimo machine.
Very nice.
Had to teach her how to use it though.
Yeah.
New technology
No,
for the older generation.
thank you.
So, you're the first person from Emma's side
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Thank you.
How'd you feel?
Nervous.
Nervous?
Anxious. Never done it before. First time.
You said you're going to start your own podcast, didn't you?
Did I?
Well, I said she'll start her own podcast, but she won't. I did a thing the other day, didn't I? I brought some sticky notes.
Yes, you did. And you put some out last night as well.
No, that wasn't me. That I saw them out. I got out of the shower, and they were on the floor outside your bedroom door. And I said to Emma, "What are these on the floor? You're trying to get me in trouble?" And Emma said, "No, it wasn't me." I said, "It was an invisible man then." Because it
That's
wasn't.
Emma all over.
It wasn't me. Because they didn't have any writing on it. But yeah, I did it. So I put writing on them, didn't I?
Yeah.
But she found them in the wrong order. Because I put like, go to the fridge, go to the sink, go to the front door. And then the last one was next to the clock. And I can't remember what it said. Something like, "Hope this wasted your time and gave
I
you
never
something
found
to
that
do."
one.
Emma probably chucked it.
I couldn't say never saw that one.
But that's what the one on the clock said. I thought it was good.
I did find a few the following day.
There's probably still some
There
about.
probably is. Knowing Connor.
There's still a whole pile of sticky notes in the room. Might do it. Question off the spot. Since I know the listeners don't know, but Emma's parents, Cheryl and Peter, live separately.
Yeah.
And if you'd like, do you want to tell us quick and easy story on how you met Peter?
I met him through Lonely Heart in the Buy and Sell.
She told me last night.
Where obviously you look through it and you look at a description of the person that you're looking at. It gives you a number to call, their code number, and then they put you in touch with that person. And that's how it started.
It sounds like a website which you buy a house on. It's got a picture of the house, a description of the house.
Yeah. This
You
was
bid
a,
on.
but you didn't see the picture of the person.
Oh, so it was.
It was just a description of that person themselves, and then, like I say, underneath had a phone number and their obviously their number to get in touch with them.
I don't think Peter's ever told me that.
Well, you'll have to ask him.
Yeah, yeah. And you've had a few. How do you say it? A few other people. But
Yeah.
I've never met them. I've
No.
seen them.
No.
But
I had Robert and Stacey's dad, but then I went back home for a while and lived on my own in Wintford for a while. Then I met Peter. Lived with him for a while before we had Louise. Then we got married, and then had Emma 4 years later. And then, obviously, our marriage didn't last, but we remained friends. And then I met Mike, got married to him again, left each other and remained friends. And then there was Jeff, that was a mad crush at school.
was he?
Yeah.
So did you know Jeff before you knew Peter?
Yeah. I knew Jeff when I was in high school at Midwich.
Did you have a date in school?
No.
Ah, were you too shy?
Yeah. Plus he was he was 3 years above me.
Were you a popular kid at school?
No.
Was he?
He was just one of the lads, if you know what I mean.
one of the lads.
Yeah. But he knew that I liked him. And when he left to go to college and I stayed at school, we did write to each other for a while, and then he went to further on what he was doing. So we stayed as friends, but on and off, if you know what I mean, throughout the years. And then suddenly he just seemed to pop up. He was married, he had children for himself, so we just stayed as friends. And then obviously after I left Mike, about 6 months after, 12 months after, he was like divorced and everything, and we just thought that we would see how it went. But it was more on a friend term. It didn't seem to have I thought more than what he did, sort of thing, because he was older than me, so he obviously went on with life, sort of thing. But yeah.
Nice that you've stayed friends, so.
Yeah.
And he comes over for a brew.
Yeah. Funny enough, he came yesterday. Had a good chat and a brew.
A 5-hour chat.
A long chat. But yeah, I will admit, apart from Robert and Stacey's dad, the other relationships I have managed to stay friends, and it's sort of left on good terms, so, you know.
On the subject of kids, you've got 4 kids, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've got Robbie, Stacey, Louise and Emma.
Nearly forgot Emma, Dan.
No, I just had to think it was Emma, not call her Louise or Stacey or Robert, because they all get called over the names before I get to the right one.
Yeah. Quick question. Never asked you before. First time you met me, 3 years ago, what were your first thoughts?
Very nice.
Really?
Yeah, very nice. From day one, I've liked you from day one. I've not had anything to really say bad about you, or not bad, you know what I mean? I've not had to say anything that I've said to someone else but not to you. Because, yeah, I'm really pleased that Emma met you.
Even if I am always winding you up.
Yeah, but, you know, you've got to have a laugh and a joke, haven't you? At the end of the day, you can't be miserable and why you've been staying here, why you've not been well. It's been brilliant to get to know you even more. In fact, I don't think if you'd stayed here, I don't know whether I would actually have got the real Connor, if you know what I mean, because when you did stay, it was evening, up at work next morning, so we didn't really have that much time like Emma's dad did and Annie. But I am glad that we've had this time to get to know each other.
You get to watch all my rubbish on YouTube.
Well, I don't mind it.
We watch...
Don't mind it. We take it in turns.
Yeah.
You always ask if I want to watch something. But then saying that, even if you didn't stay now, I did get to know you when we were on holiday, so which was really nice and showed how much you care and how family important to you. And always asking whether I was okay, and so yeah, I haven't got anything bad to say about you. You're a lovely lad.
Ah.
So, and I just hope that you have many years together. You get married and you have lovely children to give me grandchildren. So.
Don't want them anytime soon, no?
No, you've both got your own plans and where you're heading to. So, and I think you're both level-headed and you know what each other you want. Even though I do get from Emma, Mum, you tell him. And then 5 minutes later, Emma's aggravating Connor. So, one of them things.
It's funny, though.
Yeah, yeah.
What hobbies do you have?
I love swimming and I am going to get back into doing my swimming.
You are?
Very soon. I love reading. I love my diamond art. Yes, I love going to walk, but I'm one of these that like going for walks with somebody and not on my own. But I suppose most people are like that, you know, to have someone company. I'll have a go at really anything if I can, if you know what I mean, if my health takes me there, you know.
Bungee jumping?
Maybe when I was younger.
Skydiving?
Thought about it. I'd love to go in a hot air balloon.
Cage diving with sharks?
No. That is one thing. It's underwater. I'm not very good at underwater.
Swimming with dolphins?
I have thought about it, yeah.
Rock climbing?
No.
Abseiling down Anfield Stadium?
Maybe. It just depends, maybe.
When you're on the wall, it's okay. It's just when you're leaning to come down.
I know.
It's scary.
I mean, once upon a time I would try, not everything, but what I could. But I have to be with people that I feel safe with.
Sensible.
To do something. I can't just go and be with a load of strangers and do something. I have to be with somebody that I feel safe with and they reassure me. You know, so. But like you say, when you get a little bit older now, it's not as fit as I like to be, probably not as healthy as I like to be, but you know.
You can get there again.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm getting to that point now where, yes, it is time to move on and think of myself a little bit more now that the children are all older and got their own independence and everything. So maybe one time I will be saying to you that things have changed. Hopefully.
Might be tomorrow.
Saturday tomorrow. Well, I'm not promising.
You have a whole bottle of gin on a weekend, don't you?
No.
Wine.
Wine, no.
Vodka.
No.
Tequila.
I do drink pink gin. Drink pink gin, that's it. I wasn't sure if I said the right thing then. Because I can come out with funny words, as Connor knows. And he just laughed at me when I do. So, Adam, I am hard of hearing myself, so I don't always hear the right things. And I come out with something totally...
It's funny when she's watching something on YouTube as well, like this beard meets food, and he's eating something weird, and she'll say, "What is he?"
So, yeah. I do tend to ask a lot of questions when I'm doing something, so...
Even if you have to dig deep in your brain now, what's the funniest story you can think of that's happened to you or someone else? Just that you've seen.
Well, there's two.
Oh, tell.
One gets the kids going every time, and it's to do with donkeys. Now Connor's laughing because he knows what I'm going to say. Because when I was young, we lived in a village called Eton, so obviously it was all countryside. Me and my two sisters decided to go with everyone else that lived in the village at the time to this farm to go and have a ride on a donkey. And the donkey was fine with everybody else. I got on the donkey and it decided to butt me off, and it trod on my face. So there's my eye pumping up with blood, everyone laughing around me. But when we got home, my two sisters were scared what to say to my mum. So they told her that I fell off the school bars in the school ground. But when I got into the hospital and later on in hospital, the truth came out with my middle sister. And then obviously I got a good telling off by the doctors and nurses because it could have been more serious than what it was. So there's one joke, one silly moment that everybody keeps laughing me at. And then the other one was across the road from where my mum lived, there was a family that the girl would more or less, she was born 3 days after I was. Tracy, her name was, and her mum was looking after us. We went for a walk down the lanes and there was this little brook. And obviously me and Tracy were playing near it and she shouted out, "Watch you don't fall in." And by the time she finished her sentence, both me and Tracy have fallen into the brook. But at the time, Tracy's mum went to grab me, but I saw it as she pushed me in. So when I got home, I was telling my mum that she'd pushed me in this brook. And even from this day, I say that she pushed me into the brook, even though she said she didn't. She was trying to catch me. But it just looked like she'd pushed me in.
So you're trying to get her in trouble?
Well, I can only say what I saw. I mean, I was only 6 at the time. 7 maybe. But when someone goes to grab you and you fall down in the water, But no, we just have a laugh about it every now and again when we see each other. So...
What's your biggest pet peeve?
What's that?
So like mine is when people eat with their mouth open.
I see. Something that you don't like.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I just haven't heard it said that way. Something I don't like. I hate people that over-talk you when you're trying to tell them something. It really winds me up. And plus people that really start talking to me stupid because they know I'm hard of hearing. So they start, instead of saying hello or how are you, they like, how are you, to make sure you've got every word, and there's no need for it. But there are some people out there that will do it. So that are 2.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone's had a big pet peeve so far.
And I think everyone had, really.
Yeah, I think there's
I think
always...
there's always something that annoys you at some point, so...
When you get to... Oh, you won't understand the terminology, but on Fortnite, when you're playing, and you get to you and one person left, you've had like 15 kills, he's probably had like 2, and he's camping somewhere, hiding from you. And then you get shot out of nowhere, one shot sniped, and you lose the game. Nearly dropped my AirPods. That's annoying when that happens. You should get a PlayStation here.
I haven't got time for a PlayStation. I'll be honest with you, I can't do games like that, or fast
Teacher.
games, because it's too many things to be done at once.
Teacher.
Maybe you could, but you know what I mean? That's why I've never drove.
I'll be like your driving instructor, but gaming instructor.
So, you know, my brain doesn't seem to go fast enough for doing too many things all at once.
That your own YouTube channel, Cheryl's Gaming.
It'd be the slowest game going.
I'll set your mic station up and a recorder and stuff. You could become YouTube famous.
Maybe.
You got Ninja. He's got dye your hair blue. Dye your hair. Get some gaming clothes and a gaming chair. Sit there in the middle of the room.
What do you like, Connor? What do you like?
I could imagine you like that, having your gaming headphones on, gaming chair, rocking, with your Spotify playlist on.
I lost that the other day.
she
Lost it all.
she reset. She's got an Amazon Fire Stick and she reset it because it wasn't working properly, and she logged back into everything. Well, I logged back into everything for her.
Yeah.
And she logged back into her Spotify, and obviously normally you create a Spotify playlist, but her playlists were gone, and she blamed the TV for it. Ain't ya?
Well, it did. It shouldn't have... Well, not so much the TV, but the Fire Stick. Because I've reset it. So everyone was saying, well, sign into it on your phone or your tablet or something. Maybe it's just something that off the Fire Stick. But I've done it and it's still the same. So it's lost everything. But as usual, it's my fault because I probably pressed the wrong button somewhere and lost it like I do on my phone at times. It's always technique. Why can't it be like it used to be?
What?
Pen and paper.
What's your most embarrassing memory? I don't think nothing will top Courtney's most embarrassing memory. I needed a sick bowl after that episode. She's thinking.
Well, I could tell, but then I will get told off for saying. And my most embarrassing moment was when we were in B&Q. I was with Peter. I was with Louise. She was only 2, 3. And we were looking around. There were some others with us, but I can't remember exactly who. But we were looking around, minding our own business. Next thing, Louise shouted, "Mommy, I need the toilet." So I said, "Well, you'll have to wait, mate, because there's no toilets in here. I need it now, I need it now." I said, "Well, I'll have to go and ask somebody if there's a toilet." So I went off to ask if there were toilets. And this lovely lad said to me, "We haven't got any toilet, but seeing that she's a little girl and you're potty training her, she can use the staff toilet." So I said, "Oh, all right then, I'll just go and get her then and bring her." So I went back to where we were and I shouted, "Louise, you did a toilet for you." She goes, "I don't need it anymore, Mum. I need the toilet roll now." And I was like, "What have you done? So we went to see where she was, and she was only sat on a displayed toilet and decided to have a little poo. And she wanted the toilet roll to wipe her bum. So then I had to go to this gentleman, this lad, take Louise to the toilet to finish her off, to clean her up, but also to tell him that she'd done a number 2 in his display toilet. I thought, thank you very much, Louise. And I never went back for years later.
At least it wasn't you that did it.
Good job as well, isn't it? Worst having a little one doing it, never mind. Peter walked off and left me with it. And whoever else was with us, I'm not sure. I think it might have been his sister that was with us, but yeah. But fine, thank you very much. But it's always something we always say as she got older, and she's like, Mom, don't tell anyone. So now everyone's heard.
Yeah, everyone on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Louise will love you after that, I'm sure. When she comes on, she'll spill something about you.
Maybe.
Who is the most influential person to you? Someone you look up to, or look down to? No, inspirational can't be looking down, unless you're taller than them. She's thinking hard again.
Yeah.
Just don't know.
That I know would give me like good advice and everything. I can say, God bless him, he's not here now, but my teacher, Mr. Oliver, because I went to a school with like a hearing department to it, a normal school at Migwich, but it was a hearing department. He was very good, and every time I had a problem or anything, I used to just go to him. And he was really good to put you in that right direction. Like when we came to finishing school, he would not just us, but anyone that was coming to leave school, he would say to them that have a little meeting with us and say, well, you've got 3 options. You can either finish school and go and get a job, or you can go to your local college, or you can go for the college for the deaf and learn something, and also learn how to live independent and that sort of thing. So he's really good for looking down to him.
Might be another tricky question.
Okay.
Only if you can name them. What's 5 to 10 things you couldn't live without on a day-to-day basis? Or not day-to-day, weekly.
Well, there is one, you might start laughing at me, but one of them's got to be Ted.
She's got...
And that's my teddy that I had when I was born. And he's always been there all my life. And he's still in my life. So that's one. Who I would miss? The kids, obviously. Grandkids, obviously. And you, Connor.
Ah.
Our Charlie, my brother Charlie, which unfortunately he's Down syndrome and he had dementia now. But yes, obviously you miss your mum and dad when they're not here now and that sort of thing, but yeah.
That's cute. That's pretty cute. No. Describe yourself in 3 words. Put her on the spot again.
My describing me in 3 words won't be like anybody else's. No, really. Apart from, you know, the normal everything. Because menopause haven't had a good help on these things. But I'm a happy-go person. I help people out to help me, you know. About it, really. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but I don't have a high opinion of myself, so, you know, even though everyone keeps telling me to, but
Well, fair enough.
you don't. But, yeah.
If you could ever do it, what would your dream job be? What's your dream job been?
What would my dream have been if I could do it? I always wanted to live in a big house with a big garden or field, whichever, because I've always wanted
With
to
a donkey?
own. Pardon?
With a donkey?
No. I've always wanted to own the 3 colours of Labradors. But then a few years back, I learned that there's 4 colours of Labradors. So I would have to have all 4. And that's what I would have loved, but it didn't happen, so.
Do you know?
But I have had a chocolate Labrador, and I have had a black Labrador.
Do you know any much famous people? Do you?
Do I know any famous people?
Or not personally know them, but you know, like know them enough to actually name them on the TV. Or I'm going to ask if you could trade lives with someone for 24 hours, who would it be? And why?
Oh, I don't know.
Doesn't have to be famous, could be anyone in the world.
I don't know really, because I know my life has had a lot of ups and downs and everything, but if I had a lot of money, I wouldn't be happy. If everything just came to me on a plate, I wouldn't be happy. I like to know that what I've done, I have done the way I've done it, whether it's the right or the wrong way. You know, it would have been nice to have a partner that you could grow old with. Because I love them when you see them in town, these little old ladies and gentlemen, and they're still holding hands, and that is really nice. But to actually be in someone else's life, I can't really say at the moment. I don't really know anyone who I would want to swap it with. Because I wouldn't have my children if I swapped my life, would I?
No. Fair enough. We're gonna play a game now.
Oh, are we now?
I haven't played a game with anyone else yet.
Oh, right,
This is
okay.
new to the pod. So would you rather?
Depend on what sort of game we're playing.
It's just a normal would you rather. And you answer with one or the other.
Oh, right.
So, would you rather be born again today, as in starting from being born as a baby now, or wait and be born again in 100 years? If you didn't have any of the family now, just you'd be starting.
I don't think I would like to be born again now to what the world is going like.
You'd wait.
Because you just don't know what is going to happen. Because it's more, in my eyes, the world now is more evil than it was when I was born. But that's how I see it, how my life was. Not everybody had the same life.
That's fair
But
enough.
no, I wouldn't want to be born now to be here, you know, like 10 years' time to be 10, if you know what I mean.
Next one. Would you rather have severe frostbite or get severely burned?
Ooh. Neither. But the thought of being burnt hot is more of a fear than it would be cold.
I think I'd go with that too.
Yeah.
I think that's sensible, I think. Next one. Would you rather find everything you've ever lost, or it could be everything, or remember everything you've ever forgotten? She's thinking again. She's going to ask to repeat it.
Right, okay. Remember everything, because you're not really going to find everything that you've lost. I'm not. So, yeah, remember.
Yeah.
If I thought that I was going to find what I've lost, then fair enough, but I wouldn't, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, remember in my memories.
Second to last one. Would you rather be able to control humans with your mind or control animals?
Humans. There might not be so many blooming horrible ones on Earth. I think there's more horrible humans than there are animals.
At the minute, probably. Last one. Would you rather be a loved Hollywood icon in the 1950s or be a celebrity in the 21st century where everybody hates you? So basically be a celebrity now and be hated by everyone, or be a Hollywood icon back in the 1950s.
Oh, but back in the 1960s.
They're pretty sensible answers, really.
Put me on the spot on them all, though, because I wouldn't have even thought of any of them if you hadn't answered. Ask me, mean.
What is another thing on your bucket list? Something on your bucket list that you've not been able to do, or you wish you did, or is still on there?
I've never really had a bucket list, to be honest, but the only thing I would like to now is just to find my happiness, and I'm not necessarily with somebody, it would be nice with someone, but just to find my happiness so that you know that you, eventually when you do go, you have gone with that happiness.
Ah,
You know.
ah.
And I think my happiness will come again when Louise and Emma have children.
Ah.
You know, because my others are all getting older now, so.
If you could have any superpower in the world, well, not in the world because there's no superpower, but what would it be?
Superpower. Oh. To make everyone happy. And that they get what they want out of life.
Don't know what you'd call that, but that's.
Maybe.
Be like mind control.
But in a happy way. But if it's something, it would be something that I could rescue. Like, stop people getting hurt that deserve to be not to get hurt, if you know what I mean.
Just be Superman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Superwoman.
Superwoman, yeah.
You know, put the world right in a better way.
Just be God.
That's getting right that way, isn't it, really?
Or-
Depending on how you see him.
Or I know you won't have a clue what they are, but a celestial, creators of the earth, of worlds, of...
Yeah. Just to make it a better world. Just to have it. I mean, you're not going to get a 100% happy world because it wouldn't work. But just to have more happiness than sadness. And more nicer people than horrible people. That think that they can just go around hurting everybody.
Pretty
But it
nice.
had changed. I know people say that COVID was a thing that happened, but it had changed since COVID.
Pretty nice answer that was. Oh. If you could be any animal, not from born to life, what would it be and why?
I would be a panda
That was a really quick answer.
because I love pandas.
He always watches panda videos on Facebook.
I love them. I love any animal, and I would never harm any animal, but it would be a panda. If not, it would be a dog.
A dog.
But with a very nice owner. But no, pandas and tigers are my main, if you're talking about bigger animals, if you know what I mean. Like wildlife animals, pandas and tigers, but as a pet, it would be a dog. Don't like cats, they're scary.
Oh, don't be mean to my Monty.
I wouldn't be mean to anyone, but they're scary. They don't like me, cats.
They do.
They don't.
If I brought Monty here, he'd curl up in a ball on your lap.
No.
As long as you stroke them and don't ignore them.
You asked Emma and Louise about their cats with me. Not one of them have come to me.
No, you must have done something wrong.
I
Cause
might have done, but...
See, cats hold grudges. We googled it the other day, me and Emma did. They can hold grudges for years.
But I've never done anything wrong to them.
No, you must have. Even if you've looked at them in a funny way.
Well, that's all it can be then.
Sometimes.
They may be able to fear... they may be able to feel the dislike towards them. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't like that. They can read your mind. That's their
Well, that's
superpower.
probably why then. Because I wouldn't go out to hurt one. But then I wouldn't go out to stroke one like I would with a dog. Where with Emma and Louise, they do go, sort of thing to get them near them. I wouldn't do that. If a cat came near me, I'd stroke it. But not very often that does. They could be vicious, some of them. They can jump out of headshot you. Think, blimey, heck.
They might just be hungry or want to play.
No.
Well, Cheryl, how have you felt to be on the podcast and to be the first of my in-laws' family to be on?
Been quite good, actually. Not as bad as I thought.
After being nervous for weeks.
Yeah, I might talk waffle on about a load of things, but I may come across that people aren't interested in what I say, but yeah, it's been quite good.
But before we wrap it up, is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners? Words of advice, words of wisdom, anything at all?
Just be happy and enjoy life. And do what you want to do, not what people tell you to do. I'm very good at advice, but I'm not very good at listening to it. But no, just be happy, enjoy life, and take care of yourself. Maybe we'll have another chat again sometime.
So you're saying you'll come back on the podcast?
Maybe. As long as it's not on a video one.
Oh, I don't know about
I don't
that.
mind talking. Not too sure about being face to face on it.
I'll just blur you out and put Donald Trump in your seat or something. I'll edit someone else into your seat
Oh, right.
so it doesn't look like you.
Right. Well, you'll have to put my famous singer down now. You'd have to put Will Young there.
Will Young. Okay, I can do that.
Or Patrick Swayze.
I'll do something like that.
That would have been one thing when you said about being a famous person.
Patrick Swayze.
Why? I know he's not alive anymore. But I would have loved to meet him.
Well, thank you for coming on, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
And I will see your listeners. I won't see you. You'll listen to my voice again next Monday. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to send in any listeners' messages or anything you'd like included in a pod. And I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.